From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a huge night and a beautiful night here along the coast of Santa Monica, California. And a recession's underway. Not particularly beautiful at all. And that recession will hit this economy like a full brick. In tonight's recording, we're going to go over those four stimulus checks in every U.S. state and why you need to get them. Those four stimulus checks are in every U.S. state tonight, and they're over $100,000. You can't wait to get that money. Then, in this recording, we're going to go over the next question and issue, how much your benefits are going to go up. They're going up a lot, and what do you need to know? You need to know what's going on with the gasoline. Then, we're going to also turn to the question of unemployment. As unemployment surged overnight, the new Department of Labor numbers released, and boy, they weren't good. They weren't good, and that's why you need to get a fourth stimulus check that is in every U.S. state. How do you get that money? You stay the second half of this video, you subscribe, you become a member, and you get that fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. How much money is it? It's nearly $100,000. Single individual, $75,000 less, you get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, you get it. You rent if you own, if you have children, if you're on benefits, you get it. It's averaging $100,000. It's from the federal government. It is not from your states. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over that big money. Stay to the big second half. But we have a lot of other news coming up tonight. That's why you need to become a member and stay to the second half. That news tonight is the Build Back Better Act may not be going to a vote. Why not? We'll have the latest details in the comments from Joe Manchin. Is it true or is it false? All the latest details you need to know. The recession underway. How bad will this recession be and why will it leave Americans blindsided? Also, we'll be going over to the next question. As benefits are going up, will they be impacted by gasoline? And what about those labor numbers? Those labor numbers released today, not particularly good, but why does Wall Street continue to say they're actually relatively decent? A lot of questions and a lot of answers to be addressed tonight, and we're going to look at the preview of those numbers coming out tomorrow. That's why you got to get a fourth stimulus check that is in every U.S. state. Go right in this video, become a member, subscribe, and stay to the second half. And we have a lot of money to go over, and we have a lot of exciting news to deal with, and the countdown to those new farm payroll numbers tomorrow. The details start right here, right now, as America's most watched show in primetime, Evenings LA gets underway. Let's get to the news. Let's get to the money. Starting right here, right now, for July 7th. And good evening, everybody. It's a beautiful night here along the coast for July 7th, 2022. If there was ever a night to become a member, it's tonight. Because tonight we have new comments from Joe Manchin's team about the Build Back Better Act. Are they being truthful or are they not? That's why you got to get that fourth stimulus check that is in every U.S. state tonight. It's by executive action. It's not from Joseph Manchin. It's not from the Congress. It's not from your states. It's big money. I'm going to go over all those incredible checks, one at a time, for you later in this recording. Lots of money. But tonight we start with the breaking news on this economy, where it is and what you need to know starting right now. It's another day with bad economic data, but some people saying the data was good. It wasn't particularly good, and let's go over the details of it starting right now. We started the day with the new jobless claims. The new jobless claims were released Thursday morning, of course. And what was the number? 235,000 new jobless claims. Not a good number. That shows another 250,000 people unemployed this week that were not unemployed the week before. Remember, this is new jobless claims. This is people newly unemployed the week of July 2nd. And this is a big troubling question mark of why it continues to grow and why Wall Street analysts continue to say it's not particularly that bad. Let's go over what you need to know starting right now. The day started with the new jobless claims number, 235,000. Immediately, some analysts said it's actually relatively good. The labor market's holding up. Not true. They also said it doesn't show any impact from the Federal Reserve on the labor market. Also untrue. And then they said that the number of continuing unemployment claims is not particularly that bad. Also untrue. Let's go over what's going on and why are they feeding this information out to the American people. The number of jobless claims in the American public was $180,000 unemployed people newly per week before the start of the pandemic. Then when the pandemic hit, it shot up to 1 million. It stayed at 1 million for 20 plus weeks until eventually came down. It came down to about 180,000 new jobless claims per week. Several weeks ago, it shot up to 200,000. And at that time, I said, I'm projecting 230,000 new jobless claims for the next week. I got it right because it came in really on the money. Not that week, but every week thereafter. I projected 3 weeks in a row of 230,000. I got it right 3 weeks in a row. If you watched evenings like last night, I said today's number would be 230 again, 230,000 new jobless claims. Did I get it right? I got it wrong. Was it less? No, it was more. It was 235,000. Folks, this is not good. It's going up. 235,000 new jobless claims released today, and immediately Wall Street analysts, some of them said, it shows the labor market's really good. Let me go over what's going on here. This labor number is not good. 235,000 new jobless claims is not a good number, first off. Number two, the number of continuing unemployment claims is not a good number as well, because it's 1.3 million continuing unemployment claims, 1.33 versus 1.37. It's almost the same number. Why do I say this is not a good number at 235,000? Why do Wall Street analysts say it's a good number? It's not a good number because this number is a delayed number. And as one analyst said today, Americans are not getting it right. Analysts are not getting it right. He's actually right. He's basically explained it this way. And let me explain it back to you as well. When you see labor numbers released on this channel, which were for last week, they're actually delayed. The first thing that has to happen is the Federal Reserve or something in this economy goes wrong. Then the business starts to lay people off, because they look at their balance sheets and they realize we're not making that much revenue anymore. Our sales are down. We need to cut costs. We need to lay people off. Then they announce the layoff. Then the employee looks for another job, doesn't realize he can't find another job, then claims unemployment. It's not an immediate reaction. And then analysts said, you know what? For people who keep on saying the labor market's strong, it's strong because the data is delayed. You're not going to see the bad labor number impacted by the Federal Reserve or the recession underway right now until several weeks out. So this number is based upon a better economy. This is based upon the better economy of May and not based upon the faltering economy of July. Now, we also had another number released today, and boy, was it not good as well. It showed the number of people that went on to layoffs because of corporate imbalances. A report released today by the job placement company Challenger Gray and Christmas reports that corporate layoffs surged in the month of June compared to the month of May. 32,000 new layoffs. That's a 57% jump in layoffs in 30 days. That's not good, folks. That's really not good. The firm's vice president, Andrew Challenger, said the following of the data. Employees are beginning to respond to financial pressures and slowing demand by cutting costs. I love that quote. It explains exactly what we just went over. Employees are beginning to respond. They're slowly responding, and they're laying people off. Those people aren't immediately claiming unemployment. They take a little time. While the labor market is still tight, that tightness is beginning to ease in the next few months. There you go. That's why you have to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Later in this recording, we're going to go over these forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. You don't wait to get this money because the situation is changing so dramatically. You get this money right now. And how much money is it? It's $100,000. It didn't come from this building. It did not come from Congress. It came from this building. The president, the White House, executive order, and Purple Hawks have been swirling and getting this money since the month of March, when they said, LALATE, find us money. And I found them the money. And Purple Hawks have been cleaning up on average about $100,000. You can get this money as well. Single individuals, $75,000 or less, go get it. Individuals who rent, on disabilities, homeowners, mortgage assistance, and people pregnant, not with children, go get it. We're going to go over all these incredible checks later in this recording. The reason you want to get this money tonight is because this economy tonight is in a recession. And I said it was coming, but it came sooner than anticipated. Let's go over what you need to know about this recession starting right now and why that recession is not going to be the same recession today as it's going to be in January. Let's look at the phases. The phases, first detailed on this channel several weeks ago, talk about this economy slowing down during phase one, phase two, a financial cliff, and phase three, a recession. But tonight, it's a whole different ball game. Why is it a different ball game tonight? Because tonight, Americans realize, at least Federal Reserve, at least Wall Street, unless you and I understand we're in a recession already. Americans understand we're in a recession already, but this is not the financial hurt of a recession. Let's go over what happened so dramatically in less than 7 days. In February this year, I said the U.S. economy is going into recession. In January of 2023 was my projection earlier this year. At the time, I was the only financial analyst and broadcaster in financial news saying that we're going into a recession. Well, I was right, but I said it was next year. Now, in April, the first U.S. bank, or the first international bank, Deutsche Bank, announced the U.S. economy is going into recession. For weeks that went on, many banks refused to use the word, like Jamie Dimon, head of J.P. Morgan Chase, refused to use the word recession. It changed about 2 weeks ago when most analysts were saying we're going into recession late 2023, not early 2023, as I say. And they also said that the market has not embedded the risk of a recession yet because it's at least 6 months out. That was a week ago today. Not the case anymore. Tonight, they all believe the recession's underway. They already have embedded the risk in this economy. In the markets, stocks, bonds, and oil, let's go over what changed so dramatically. It started last Friday. If you watch this channel, I had the breaking news. It started with a division of the Federal Reserve under Jay Powell called the Atlanta Fed GDP Now. It's a live tracking tool. It tracks the economy on a live basis. And what does it look at? It looks at growth of the economy, another word called GDP, gross national product of the U.S. economy. It has live data, and they said based upon the ending of the month of June days ago, they project the second quarter of this year ended with negative GDP growth of 1%. Big. Why is that big? Because the first quarter this year ended with negative GDP growth of 1.8%. And if you have 2 negative quarters of GDP growth, you are confirmed to be in a recession. A recession is defined by its terms as 2 negative quarters of GDP growth. And that was what they said on Friday. I immediately reported that to you, and I said, get ready for the official announcement of a recession from the Department of Labor on July 28th, when they're likely to repeat officially the unofficial data released by the Atlanta Fed GDP Now last week. We started this week on Tuesday with the first day of stock trading, bond trading, and oil trading since that Atlanta Fed GDP Now shocker about the recession. And what happened this Tuesday? Stock market fell dramatically, 500 points down the first day of trading most of the day. Oil fell dramatically, under $100 a barrel. Belief that recession is underway. The 10-year Treasury note and the 2-year Treasury note inverted, indication of a recession as well. It's called the yield inversion curve. 3 different markets, all embedding a risk of recession already in the markets when they hadn't even done it the weekend before. That's how dramatically this economy has changed. Tonight, what do we know about this recession, and what is my projections as well? Tonight, we know that this U.S. economy is in recession. The Atlanta Fed GDP Now is a live tracking tool, but it has 100% accuracy over the last 20 years. So we believe it's accurate, number one. Number two, the official announcement, we're not going to wait to July 28th because Americans aren't either. Wall Street, bonds, oil, all have said we're in a recession right now, folks. So is this the real recession, or is there another version of the recession coming later? Let me explain what I think you'll endure. This is officially the defined recession, but the real hurt, the real pain, the real impact you feel from this recession is January of next year. This doesn't feel like a recession yet, for obvious reasons. Just as we said earlier in this recording, things take a while to filter out into the economy. What will you see in a recession? Massive layoffs, massive unemployment, massive hiring freezes, massive corporate layoffs, massive store closures. You don't see that yet. It's starting to percolate, but it hasn't happened. You're going to see the housing market implode. You're going to see the stock market go down 20, 30% more. That hasn't happened either yet. That's why this is clearly the start of a recession, but we got 2 years of it. Imagine this channel launched on April 25th, 2020. When I launched this channel, I thought, there's a lockdown. We'll be on lockdown for what? We all thought 2 weeks. What do we think? Jump in the live chat. How long did you think the lockdown was going to be? 2 weeks, a month, 2 months? And then, after 2 months, we said, okay, maybe it'll be 4 months. Well, who would have thought that after a lockdown that endured as long as it did, now you're going to endure a recession that's going to be 2 years. 2 years of recession. So I want to make very clear to you tonight what's going on Wall Street. What's going on Wall Street? What's going on in the middle America? As Americans are trying to say, this is as bad as it's going to get. Folks, that's hideously untrue. This is the start of how bad it's going to get. It's going to get a lot worse, and we got 2 years down. You're going to see stocks go down from 20% down to 40% down. You're going to see the housing market go from where it is to much worse, and you're going to see the bond traders continue to invert the curve, and oil and gas, well, that's a more harder question. That is, my friends, why you want to get a forced stimulus check that is in every U.S. state. You want to go right in this video right now and become a member. Get that forced stimulus check that is in every U.S. state, because you're not going to wait for this recession to hit you at home. You're going to wait for this recession to impact your family. You're going to get this money right tonight, this moment, by becoming a member, going right into this video right now where it says join the channel, become a member, and you're going to stay the second half as we go over these huge checks, $100,000 of them, that you qualify. This is stimulus that was done by the President of the United States by executive order. It's in every U.S. state, but let me make it clear. When I say that expression, it's not coming from the states. It's not state stimulus checks. It's not state law. It's not state money. So you don't like your state, they're not helping you, they don't do anything for anyone. You're right. Don't worry. This is not their money. It's not coming from them. It's coming from the federal government. And it's averaging about $100,000. You get this money right now because we're starting a recession already this night. It didn't start tonight. It potentially started July 1. It potentially started back in June, because remember, 2 negative quarters of GDP growth is a recession. But when will you feel the hurt of the recession? January. But when will you feel the shock of a recession? September of this year. Let's go over the financial cliff that was first detailed to the Purple Hawks on this channel by me to you when we heard those big comments from Jay Powell and Liz Warren days ago. Appearing on Capitol Hill, Liz Warren was asked Liz Warren asked Jay Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, is it possible you're setting the American economy over a financial cliff? Yes, it is possible. Is it possible that in chasing the reduction of inflation, you're going to throw massive wrinkles in this economy? You may send us over a financial cliff, and you may see massive unemployment. Yes, it's possible. When is that likely to happen, in my opinion? September. I really do think it's going to happen in September. That's really what I talk about phase 2. Jay Powell thinks he's going to get inflation down. Is he going to get inflation down? He's not. And we already know that from the core personal consumption number released last week. It tracks what Jay Powell's done since raising those interest rates at the Federal Reserve since earlier this year. 3/4, half, and quarter. Has it worked? No. The core personal consumption expenditure had a headline inflation number in there. And what did it show? For the month of March, the read was 6.6%. The month of April, 6.3%. And for the month of May, it came in still at 6.3%. It hasn't worked. Jay Powell continues to say he's going to get inflation down to 2% later this year. He's not. I said 4%. And the Department of Labor and also the CPO confirmed the same. Now, we do have good news from Jay Powell. That's sort of rare, isn't it? We do have good news from Jay Powell, and it came yesterday when the Federal Reserve released their FOMC minute notes from the June meeting. Remember, the July meeting is about 14 days away. They said there's a big concern, and their concern is that the American economy and the American consumer may get used to elevated prices and think that's just the price it's going to be indefinitely. It's as though you go to the supermarket and the milk is no longer $3, it's now $5, and you just say, I just assume it's going to be $5 indefinitely. He wants to stop that right away. That's good. Many participants at the Federal Reserve judged that a significant risk now facing the Committee of the Federal Reserve Governors was that elevated inflation could become entrenched in the public to question the resolve of the committee. These are comments from the Fed minutes released yesterday. So what are they going to do? They're going to do 1/2 to 3/4 of a basis point at that next meeting in just a few days. There is no August meeting. Will they give us guidance for September? We don't know. In particular, participants judged that increase of 50 to 75 basis point would be likely appropriate in the next meeting. That's what's happening. Could they do 1 basis point, a full 1.0? They said it's possible. Participants recognize that firming should slow the pace of the economy for a time and return inflation to 2%. There's where you laugh. Not happening. Now, here's what also is at issue. They're looking at this number from yesterday. The Bureau of Labor showed that there's 11.25 million available positions in this economy, but there's 5.95 million people unemployed in the month. So there's 1.9 jobs available for every unemployed person. But you already saw that layoff number early in the recording. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag. What's the mixed bag? That's the big one that's going to have people screaming or someone screaming in the White House. It's his number. That is the number coming tomorrow. Boy, I've never seen a number that has so much anticipation for it. It's like someone's dropping a new Harry Styles song. Tomorrow, the president and myself and you are going to be watching the non-farm payroll jobs number on Friday. It's a very well-watched number, and everyone's talking about it. It's expected to come in at 250,000 new non-farm payroll jobs created the prior month, down from 390,000 the month before. It's a major drop. Now, here's what's going to happen. If it comes in on the money, it's 250, fine. If it's a beat, Joe Biden's going to celebrate. If it's a miss and it's under 250, close your ears because someone's going to be screaming, and it's not me. It's going to be this guy. He really does not like a low job creation number because he tries to pride himself on job creations in this economy. And if he's not generating jobs, he really feels it's his fault. He did this the last time. It was a major miss. What is my projection? It's really hard to tell. Not that Sirloin would know because it's non-farm. I think it may be a miss, but I don't think it'd be a dramatic miss. Now, I got to tell you this. There are analysts out there that say it could be a massive miss tomorrow. Imagine they're thinking 150,000. I mean, that is just a shocker. To think that some analysts say it could be 150,000 new jobs, non-farm payroll jobs, that announcement, it's just something you just don't want to digest. Now, here is what you also need to know. In this month of July, we have a lot going on. We have the CPI for the month of June being released. That number is going to be fascinating because if that number shows that inflation has peaked, then will J. Powell pull back? We don't know, but we do know that inflation may have tracked lower because the second half of the last month showed the price of gasoline going down. We'll be going over that gasoline in a second. Also in the month of July, we're going to have that announcement from Joe Biden about student loan debt forgiveness. What's going to happen? And why do I say the month of July? Well, yesterday, the Department of Education confirmed the announcement is imminent. It's just days away. I was the first to say it's going to happen in the month of July. Analysts initially said July and August. I said Joe Biden's probably going to do it by executive order with a whole group of Democratic senators and leaders around his table when he signs it into law. He's going to do it before the August recess. What is he going to do? Well, the Department of Education did not give us clarity yesterday when they said the announcement is coming. I've reported for a while the president's determined to announce a $10,000 student loan debt forgiveness for individuals who have federal debts and make $150,000 or less. This follows individuals whose debts were procured by fraud by the university, forgiven. Individuals who went to work in the nonprofit or public sector after graduation, forgiven. And then individuals whose debts were followed by work in public sector or nonprofit work. Those debts would be forgiven as well. The White House is trying to get a big win somewhere in this economy and hasn't really been able to find that win. And that win may be the Build Back Better Act. Unemployment did not do particularly well today, and it may not particularly do well tomorrow when that non-farm payroll job announcement is coming. All this means for you is you need to get that four stimulus check in every US state. You need to become a member, go right on this video, and get that incredible membership signed up right tonight and stay the second half as we go over these huge checks one at a time. Now, I need you to understand that there's a lot going on in this economy, and the unemployment situation is sort of exemplary today of why analysts continue to get this economy wrong. It's very dangerous. They continue to track things incorrectly. Last year, they said that the inflation was going to be temporary and transitory. They balked what Jay Powell said. I said it's wrong. It's going to be 8% and not temporary, transitory. They said that Jay Powell's going to get inflation down by raising interest rates. I said wrong. He's not. He hasn't gotten it down either. They also said that the housing market is really good and there's a lot of strength to the market. It's really not been that way at all as the housing starts continue to fall. Here is what they've also talked about as well. They've talked about rampant spending out of control, and that rampant spending shows that the U.S. consumer is in a really good situation. Tonight, my analysis of that as well. I think they're very wrong. The American consumer is not aware that there's a financial cliff coming. That financial cliff involves a change in this economy from the great days of February and March to a very bad start of a recession. And that falling of this economy would involve layoffs of Americans with no assistance happening. Those layoffs would result in no available employment thereafter, and then the rude awakening that there is no FPUC, PUA, PEUC, EIDL grant, EIDL loan, any of that assistance for independent contractors, UI employees, or small business owners from 2020. They get a rude awakening when they realize there's no eviction moratorium and no mortgage forbearance as well. And that rude awakening is going to happen when they fall at a face of a changing environment. And when do I put that data happening? When do I put that event happening? I put it in early September. I put that financial cliff just days away. And that is why you need to prepare your family accordingly. How do you prepare if a financial cliff is coming in September, phase 2? You first get as much stimulus as you can. Second, you raise your savings. Second, you move your adjustable rate debt, like credit card debt or car loan debt. Gasoline may or may stay high, but CPI is certainly going to stay high, and Federal Reserve is certainly going to raise rates. Unemployment, gas, and interest rates will likely stay high as well. But here's what you also need to know, is that consumer confidence is going to fall, and what's also going to also not stay up is spending and income. But let me go over something tonight that's fascinating in so many regards. 2 new reports came out in the last 24 hours, and they were about spending of this U.S. economy by the American consumer. The first one says they already have a tracking tool that indicates that for the summer months, young concert goers are expected to spend record sums on concerts, averaging $1,000 a young child, upwards of 20 to 30-year-old young adult, and 55% of them report they will be going into debt to spend that money. Now, another report released yesterday says Americans are buying cars at record high prices, averaging about $50,000 to $60,000, and their loan payments on the cars mirror loan payments on homes. Rampant spending, out of control spending, senseless spending, it is. And that is what lines up a financial bubble. That's what lines up a financial cliff. And that is what's going to have millions and millions of people looking for stimulus, big sums of money, when they realize that after they've gone to that concert, spent $1,000, they've been laid off. And there's no unemployment stimulus. And crypto's in the toilet. And they can't make any money on the stock market. Suddenly they're going to be looking left and right. And they will be here. They will be here looking for that assistance. What do? You go right in this video and become a member. You get the incredible money now before they start arriving, because they're going to be looking for money after they spend rampant sums of money this summer. Become a member, Purple Hawk, Pearl Power, Casino VIP. Get that incredible member newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and stay in the second half as we go over those 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. Plus, we have an update about your benefits going up. We have an update about gasoline. And we have an update about the Build Back Better Act. Boy, we have a big second half. It's an economy that is very hard to project. It's an economy that is full on in recession tonight, and you can't wait to get this money. Get it right now. Become a member, and I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as Evenings LA continues.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now on a beautiful night of July 7th, 2022, from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow, July 8th, is a big day when we see that non-farm payroll job number released. I got to tell you, if it's a miss, the president's going to be very upset. If it's a miss, we're going to blame it on a recession. If it's a miss, they're going to all scamper left and right, and millions of Americans are going to worry that something happened to this economy so dramatically, so quickly. Now, remember, the number is already expected to be lower. It's already expected to be lower. So coming into tomorrow, we're not expecting a good number. But if it's even worse, well, the millions of Americans are going to be looking for that stimulus check. And with that, let's go over that incredible for a stimulus check right now. Hope you have a beautiful evening. Hope it's good where you are as well. Thank you for joining me for another night of evenings. The money that's available right now became a law in the month of March. Viewers of the channel at the time had learned so well from me and said, you know, LA, you always talk about getting money when it's available. Get us a forced stimulus check right now. Times are good. It's March. Get us the money right now, because they haven't gotten the Build Back Better Act done, and we don't want to wait till our backs against the wall. So I did. At the time, I got people money, and that money is still available. That money is this money, $100,000. Single individual, $75,000 less, you get it. Qualify. Go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, you qualify. Go get it. If you rent, if you own, go get it. If you're on benefits, SSI or SSDI, veterans benefits, go get it. With children, without children, go get it. Where did it come from? Came from the President of the United States. His executive order for stimulus. And he made it law. He is the funder of the money for the federal government. It's not from your states. When I say it's in every U.S. state, I mean it's available everywhere. It's not from your governor. It's not from your legislators, not from your states. My state's not helping me, you may say. You're probably right. This is not their money. This is not their law. Number 3. Longtime viewer Carol says, you make it so simple, Alex. You make it so simple. You put it all together in a very concise newsletter and deliver it to the viewers so they understand where to get this money. They go down the newsletter and they bounce and they get the money. And longtime viewer Kat says, you focus on eligibility really well. That is what's at issue. Also, the money is big. It needs to be big because we have a 2-year recession going on. Can't be puny little checks, $300, $400 checks. Next, the money is more than the Build Back Better Act will ever pay you. I'm going to go over that later in this recording. Bigger than anything you will ever get paid anywhere else. And finally, the money is available there tonight, right now. So what are you waiting for? Go under this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP says join the channel. And let's go over each of these incredible checks, starting with the very first check right now. The very first check is $6,500 to $12,000. It's wonderful, and it's par for the course of why I'm looking for big checks for you and getting you big checks. Check A is a $6,500 to $12,000 for a stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you are on benefits, SSI, SSDI, go get it as well. How do you get this wonderful check? A, step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, go under the video and join the channel. Hit that join the channel button. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP member. Then get the membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the member alerts. Go down that membership newsletter till you find check A. There it is. Click the link. It'll go into the nationwide website. Then choose your state. Go into the state website and then go get it. It's called the Homeowners Weatherizing Grant Check. And you're not done there yet because you're going to go get check B. My goodness, what a wonderful check. $15,000 to $80,000 for stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. If you're on benefits, go get it. And how do you get that wonderful check? Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, become a member. Step 3, go in the membership newsletter delivered via the member alerts Monday through Friday and go down to check B. Where it says check B, it has a link. You click the link and you go right into the nationwide website. Then you choose your respective state. You choose your respective state and you click the link and you go in and pounce. Imagine how wonderful we've done so far between check A and check B in just a matter of a few seconds. We're already at $100,000. You're going to go get check A, you're going to go get check B, here it is, and you're going to go get check A. That's $12,000. Check B is $80,000. Whoa, that's $100,000. We just get started. Just getting started. Go get some check C then. Check C? Yes, this is for renters and homeowners. $2,000 a month over 12 months. It's an MSC, baby, monthly stimulus check. Viewers are tracking at $45,000, but a lot of viewers have gotten over $100,000. How do you get this wonderful check? Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, go into the video and join the channel. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP member. Get the membership newsletter Monday through Friday and go right down to the member alerts, via the member alerts, and go right down to check C. It tells you where to call, what to say, and how to say it. In my opinion, a check C will probably be the most important check of 2022. Checks, I should say. Why? Because millions of Americans are going to need this more than anything else. If you have a knock on the door and it's the landlord about to evict you, there is no eviction moratorium anymore. Go get check C's for rent. If you have the bank knocking on your door saying we're going to foreclose on you, and you're facing a foreclosure, there is no foreclosure moratorium anymore. Go get mortgage forbearance anymore. Go get check C. If you're wondering if the utilities service can be turned off, it can. Go get check C. This is rent, utilities, mortgages, and more. We've been doing it since 2020. We've gotten over $50 million for views for this and other items on this channel. And the success stories start really early on. Let's look at those incredible success stories that viewers have gotten for check C's. Would you like this? $20,000 to $30,000, like Elizabeth with $27,000 for rent, go get check C. Would you like $7,000 for utilities like Nancy, or $6,500 for Mark? Then go get check C. Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000. Snap. Mark's brother-in-law's getting $25,000 a year over 10 years, $250,000. What about a combination of them? Here's Nancy. She's gone from $23,000 to $50,000. Here's Mark. He's gone from $32,000 to $166,000. How do they do that? They keep on getting checks. Mark went from $32,000 to $50,000. Then he got check B. He went from $50,000 to $100,000, then $166,000. Here's Lorraine. She went from $105,000 to $150,000. They're all in the live chats nightly because that's what I teach viewers to do. You should be doing 3 things daily. Watching all the videos that are new on this channel, number 1. Number 2, taking notes on where this economy is, where it's going. And number 3, spending the rest of the day on the phone or on the clinks and getting more checks. 900 here, 800 there, it all adds up. Let's recap. Step 1, go into the video and hit that subscribe button. You want to subscribe to LALATE, the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, heading to number 2 with a brand new look of LALATE coming to this channel, a preview featured earlier today on afternoons and mornings. Number 2, go under this video and also hit that join the channel button. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Then get that membership newsletter Monday through Friday and pounce. Also, there's a little bell at the front of this channel. Hit that bell to make sure notifications are set to all on. Also, remember this. The membership newsletter is delivered Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's West Coast time. If you're not West Coast time, figure out what time zone that is. Number 2, make sure you are signed into YouTube when using this channel and remain signed in so that the channel recognizes you're a member. If you're not signed in, you won't be able to engage in the full member benefits. Remember, your phone may sign you out. In some cases, contact your cell phone carrier if it's signing you out of applications like YouTube when using it. Now, here's what you also need to know across the land. What you also need to know across the land is that there's a lot of other things happening out there. And those other things happening out there are big sums of money. But the big sums of money are not $100,000, are not the massive sums of money that I have for you today. They're smaller, and you qualify for them as well. And what are they? The Build Back Better Act. The Build Back Better Act is back, baby. But is it as good as the 4 stimulus checks I have for you? No, it's not. It's smaller. And is it back or is it not back? We have an update on that tonight, and it starts right now. First, the Build Back Better Act is a massive congressional attempt to give you stimulus in contrast to the presidential stimulus I had for you earlier in this recording. And the Build Back Better Act passed by the House is currently in the Senate. In recent days, it got a lot of major movement. First, the 4 corners, the senators, top senators of the House and the Senate, who are Democrats, agreed to the framework of the Build Back Better Act. Number 2, negotiations between Joe Manchin and Chuck Schumer got really good as they agreed upon prescription medication. Number 3, insiders, which include Democrats and even Republicans, agree that the Build Back Better Act is close to the finish line. In fact, the Republicans believe it's so close to the finish line that they've been appearing on news trash-talking the Build Back Better Act, like Representative Brady, saying they're about to get it done. It's about to get passed. This is a Republican telling you this. Now, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi both say that the vote will come in late July. It all looks really good until today, with a peculiar quote featured on Afternoons, LA. I had a laugh about it when I delivered on air, but I'll deliver it to you as well right now. The quote comes from Joe Manchin's press secretary, who I gotta say is a little bit more Joe Manchin than Joe Manchin is. In one sentence, this press secretary basically gives you as much negativity as possible. His name is Sam Runyon, and he is running with Manchinisms every word possible. Suggestion that a reconciliation deal is close is false. That's the first sentence. Second sentence. Senator Joe Manchin has serious, unresolved concerns, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and it's inconceivable that a deal can be reached that he can sign on to. Wow. You want a Snickers bar? I mean, that's all I can say to that one. I mean, it's really, yeah, I'm looking at this quote. I mean, how many negative words are in the, as I said on Afternoons LA, the spokesperson for Joe Manchin is more Manchin than Joe Manchin is. Do I buy the comments? No. Do I understand why the comments are so negative? No. Size, scope, and cost of the package remain up for debate. But here's what I need to tell you, is that I do believe the Build Back Better Act is going to get passed, number 1. I do believe it's going to get passed. I do believe you're going to get about the $15,000 to $80,000 of wonderful multiple stimulus checks from this Build Back Better Act to you. The part of the equation that you need to understand is that I do not believe the Build Back Better Act is going to pay you before the financial cliff happens. And that's why you can't wait for it. You need to get the 4 stimulus checks I have for you today. First, the checks I have for you today are more than the Build Back Better Act, number 1. Number 2, they pay today before the financial cliff. And number 3, you need to survive the financial cliff. The Build Back Better Act, what was likely to survive? $15,000 to $80,000 of multiple checks in there? Yes, that's reportedly going to survive. $25,000 for the purchase of your first home? Yes, that's likely to survive. $250 billion of free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities? Yes, that's likely to survive. As we go to the individual clusters, what about them? Cluster number 1, hazard pay, 1 more year of the earned income tax credit, $4,000 of elder care, $4,000 of care for young children. $12,500 for a new electric vehicle, nutrition, home repairs, likely all survive. Almost. We'll go back to that car in a second. Second cluster, home repairs, no, that's now check A. Paid leave, no, that's going to be removed by Joe Manchin. The seniors cluster, yes, likely all survive. Dental, vision, hearing, lowering the eligibility age of Medicare, Medicaid gap fix, sure. And what about MSC? Well, this is interesting. If you call the M Multiple, yes. If you call the M monthly, I don't know. First, here's what I want you to understand. With a package that, if you believe the rumors, they're just rumors, is somewhere between 1 to 1.5 trillion, there is far more than enough room to get all these wonderful multiple checks in your wallet. And you're going to clean up. The viewership of this channel is going to clean up really well with these multiple checks. But is there room at a 1 to 1.5 trillion dollar possible, I will say that again, possible price tag, to just keep on sending people checks every month just because? $7,000 to every American just because. No, there's not enough room to send Americans $7,000 across the board. But the takeaway is that it looks like the Build Back Better Act, at least now, if the rumors are correct, will mirror the third stimulus, where the viewership of this channel is going to clean up royally. Viewers last time got $45,000 from the third stimulus. They're likely to clean up as well under fourth stimulus. Other Americans who don't watch this channel may not be willing to put the effort in to get the checks and may not be as equally pleased. Now, here is what you also need to know when looking at the Build Back Better Act as well tonight. Democrats want to make a narrative very clear that they're here to help you and they're here to get the money out the door. That narrative involves getting this done. When is getting it done help you? If we've done this for 2020, they need to get the money in your hands before you vote in the midterm elections by mail. And that means they need to get those checks in your hand by about September. If they vote on this in July, as they represent, they can get that done. If they get this vote in early August, they can get it done. If they leave this to September, it gets a little dicey, because getting a check in someone's hand from something that's passed in September, getting a check in someone's hand in September for something past in September is really tight. Here's my takeaway of the equation across the board. The Build Back Better Act is going to get passed. There'll be a lot of checks for you. But the people who are going to survive the financial cliff, you. The people who are going to learn how to earn, you. The people who are going to be able to sustain the recession of 2 years, you. And with that, let's turn to the other breaking news story tonight, the situation on gasoline. Millions of Americans are confused about what's going on with gasoline, and I got to tell you, it is confusing. It's stemming from situations like the unemployment and also the concerns about the recession. Where is it coming from, and why is it a little bit hard to even cover the subject matter? First, viewers understand that gasoline prices go higher if there's a shortage of gasoline. There's still a shortage of gasoline. There's nothing changed on that front tonight, folks. 3.5 million barrels of gasoline missing. Why? Because we embargoed Russian oil and OPEC Plus reduced capacity. Okay, that's pretty simple. If gasoline remains in short supply because of a shortage, gasoline continues to track higher, right? Yes, unless there's less demand. So, why is gasoline gone down since about the week before 4th of July weekend? It's gone down based upon traders of gasoline betting that a recession will reduce demand. Has a recession reduced demand on gasoline yet? No, it's not. So they're just betting on an event that hasn't happened. Is gasoline going to track higher, or is it going to track lower? Depends on who you ask. A new report out from Morgan Stanley and another report out from Citibank are at odds. I subscribe to the first one. I agree. The analysis is that gasoline prices are going to go higher. Why? Because we haven't replaced the 3.5 million barrels of gasoline. And that even with a recession, gasoline goes higher because people still have to drive. How high? $1.45 a barrel international Brent crude. Citibank says the opposite. They say if there's a recession, people won't be able to afford to buy gasoline. The demand is going to go down. They won't be driving to work. It will go down to $65 a barrel, international Brent crude. Really interesting. Jump in the live chat and tell me what you think right now. If you think that someone is unemployed will drive less than someone that's employed, write in the live chat. I just never seen that. I just see if someone's unemployed, they're going to do something. They're not going to stay at home all day long. So I think the demand is still there, and I don't think it brings down the price of gasoline that's caused by a lack of a supply. Why is there a lack of supply? The lack of supply tonight has actually been part of the issues of why one person is no longer in office. Tonight, England has lost its prime minister. Boris Johnson, detailed on this channel for over the last 2 years, is gone. He quit today. And he quit today as he was one of the 4 countries that was behind this oil embargo of Russia. Very critical. And his embargo of Russian oil is why the Western allies, England, United States, Germany, and France, embargoed the Russian oil and then vowed to replace it. They never replaced it. And gasoline in England is out of control. You think it's high here? It's much higher there. You think our inflation's high at 8%? It's expected to go to 10 to 12% in England later this year. Is it going to be a change of policy in England? Yes. Is that going to impact the Western allies from buying oil? No, because they haven't bought any oil. The Western allies have 5 opportunities of where to buy oil, and yet every day, another day goes by and they don't buy the oil. They have Iran. They have OPEC Plus in Saudi Arabia. They have Venezuela and Brazil. And unless they buy that oil from those 5 countries, there's no available oil for the Western allies. Let's make this very clear. There's no 3.5 million barrels of gasoline in the ground. Untrue. False narrative from the White House. Number 2, ExxonMobil is not responsible for gasoline prices going through the roof internationally. Another false narrative from the White House. They're not to blame. Number 3, the release of the strategic reserves from the White House of 1 million barrels a day for 6 months got gasoline at a better level. Also untrue. Didn't work at all. The reason why gasoline is down today in the last few days is because of oil traders. Number 4, the president's offered solution of a gas tax of a holiday. We don't have to pay for federal gas tax for a few months. Would be a little bit of breathing room for the American worker. No, the American worker will still be choking. Why? Because that's $1.80. 10-gallon gas tank in the car, 18 cents times 10 gallons, $1.80. Who are we playing games here with, folks? Now, tonight, Joe Manchin had a comment through Runyon, that spokesperson, about the electric vehicles. This is where I sort of want to smile from both sides, grin to grin. If you follow LALATE on Twitter, if you follow LALATE on social media, follow this channel on a regular basis, one of the comments I made throughout the last year that I thought was just out of context, out of relationship to the American work and the American people, which is when Joe Biden made a press video. It was not as though the cameras were rolling. He made a press video of himself driving around the Oval Office, White House grounds in a $120,000 electric vehicle and telling the American people, go buy the beautiful brand new Ford Lightning. Go buy the brand new beautiful brand new GM Hummer. Go buy it. And I said, he's telling the American worker to go buy a $125,000 car. And at the time, the economy was not a recession. At the time, we didn't have runaway inflation. Tonight, Joe Manchin's spokesman had an interesting comment about the electric vehicle, and that brings me into my commentary tonight. The commentary from Joe Manchin's team on the electric vehicle provision of the 4th stimulus Build Back Better Act is fascinating. Let me tell you what it is. Let's first see if we can pull up that graphic. Remember, this is in the first cluster. I've covered this provision for over a year. This was the $12,500 for the electric vehicle in that first of 3 clusters of the Build Back Better Act. A lot of us have always sort of, wrinkled our eyes every time I report it because it's a little peculiar of a provision. And I've certainly gone over it in detail and not been a big fan of it before. But let me tell you what's going on. In that first cluster, there's a provision that says $12,500 towards the purchase of a new electric vehicle. Okay. What is Manchin's team's comments about it? They're considering that the provision should only be available to low-income individuals. He doesn't want someone who's buying a $120,000 car to get a tax credit. Why? If they can afford a $120,000 car, they should get a tax credit. I think that's brilliant. I think it's absolutely correct. If you can afford a $100,000 pickup truck that's electric, I think it's overpriced. I'm sorry. Then you do not need a $12,500 tax credit. I think he's right. I think Manchin's right. Now, here's where it gets ridiculous. Manchin says that he wants to give the $12,500 tax credit to people who are low income that make $75,000 or less. Well, there's a problem. How many electric vehicles are $75,000 or less? The average U.S. consumer car right now is tracking at about $55,000. If you're trying to find an electric vehicle under $65,000, you're going to have a real big problem. So he's basically saying, if you make $75,000 or less, Go buy an electric vehicle for $60,000, your entire salary that year, and I'll give you $12,500 tax credit. You see what's wrong with Congress? You got the president who doesn't understand the math. You have Joe Manchin who doesn't understand the math. They both don't understand math, and they're both running the same calculation. Neither. You look at them like, Joe, no one can afford a car if they're low income if it's $65,000 and they only make $75,000. Why are you giving them a tax credit? They can't afford the car. And then the other Joe, you want to give $12,500 to someone who's paying six figures for a car? This is what we're dealing with. And this is why I care so much about you. I care so much about you to understand that you have a big road ahead of you. You have 2 years of recession. As we said earlier in this recording, we thought that we would be on lockdown for a few weeks, a few months. Well, get ready. You're going to be in a recession for 2 years. I'll be here for you for the next 2 years. And that's why there's a brand new LALATE coming to this channel. A brand new LALATE that tells you more about where this economy is and where it's going. Gives you more laughs to keep you motivated, keep your spirits up, and keeps you going in times that aren't particularly going to be positive sometimes. That gives you even the inspiration of how to cook a delicious meal. Yeah, get ready for that, sugar-free and all. And gives you all the stimulus news you always wanted, even more than ever before. It's the brand new LALATE coming to this channel shortly. And I'll be featuring it more in the next few days. What you do right tonight, well, you know what it is. You subscribe. You go right in this video and subscribe to America's most watched financial news channel in America in prime time, and expanding from number 3 to number 2 for financial news across the land. Go into this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino, VIP. And stay with this channel as you see more previews of the brand new LALATE coming shortly. Become a member. Stay with me throughout the night. Programming continues throughout the night with Evening's Countdown at 6 o'clock. Evenings LALATE, of course, every night at 5 o'clock. Street and Stimulus at 7. Extra at 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock is Sunset. Early mornings LALATE at 4 a.m. And I'm back live again tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with Mornings LALATE. Stay informed and stay focused. Have a beautiful evening. Hope you stay cool and pleasant. And stay with LALATE for more.